Hey everyone, Sky here to discuss Halloween 20 years later, aka H20, starring Jamie Lee Curtis, Josh Hartnett, LL Cool J, Michelle Williams, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and directed by Steve Miner. Now let's just get right into this, just because I'm the newbie on this series. The opening sequence, starting with the song from Halloween 2, pops up, which made me feel meh. Until we get a woman named Marion who gets to her house, and we see that her house is broken in, and we get introduced briefly to Tony and Jimmy is played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who I'm a fan of. And Jimmy goes into the house of Marion's in Haddonfield, Illinois, to see if everything is okay, and says everything is fine. And I honestly thought, yeah, right. And Marion goes in the house and sees a file of old clients folders has been taken, and Marion runs next door, and we see Jimmy and Tony dead, and we get Michael Myers chasing Marion as the cops show up to the broken house. And I thought, are these cops fucking retarded? As Marion gets her throat slashed open, like, Jesus. And Michael steals a car. That opening kind of worked for me, despite the problems I brought up briefly. Meanwhile, in Northern California, Laurie Strode, now a mother and dean of a private school, and returned by Jamie Lee Curtis, and her son John, played by Josh Hartnett, I like as an actor, but I don't know where he's been lately, because after this movie, I don't know what the fuck happened to him. Or where he's been for the past 10 years. But I like the fact that Laurie Strode is back into the picture. And let's say for this movie's sakes, Halloween 3 through 6 doesn't exist. Because I would like that. And that's what I admire about this movie, is that part 3 and 6 don't exist. John's girlfriend Molly, played by Michelle Williams, who's the widow of Heath Ledger when he passed away, which poor blasted, is a character I can get behind, and she's another actress who I'm a fan of, and I enjoy seeing her in movies as... And I'll be seeing her again very soon in this movie, for example. Laurie, after talking to her private school students about a trip to Yosemite, we get introduced to her boyfriend, Will Brennan, who's a school psychologist, and Norma, played by Janet Leigh, who I've seen in the original movie of... And her daughter is the star of this movie, and I'm talking about Jamie Lee Curtis, and I like these characters. Private security guard Ronnie, played by LL Cool J, talks about writing a book while talking to his wife on the phone and illegally letting John and Charlie go out of the campus and to get some alcoholic wine for John's romantic Halloween dinner for the night. And he's already making mistakes, like letting teenagers out of campus, doesn't stay at his post, and calls his boss a psycho. Like, I would have had him fired for that shit. And not only that, he's terrible in this movie. Absolutely terrible. John and Molly have a romantic Halloween night planned with Charlie and Sarah. And confessionably, I think Charlie and Sarah are very fucking annoying as a couple. I'm annoyed every time they're on screen together. So John, Molly, Charlie, and Sarah are having their fun. Laurie confesses to Will who she really is, while Michael Myers is out of there somewhere, killing people, and Laurie tries to find them. And just in case if you don't know what I'm talking about, Laurie goes by a different identity throughout the movie until she confesses to that. Meanwhile, Michael Myers is out there somewhere killing people, and Laurie tries to find them. Sarah and Charlie get killed by Michael, and John and Molly almost get killed until Will shows up, and Laurie fighting off to death with Michael, and she gets Michael to land on his back, almost stabbing him with a knife, until idiot Ronnie comes in, and guess what happens? They load Michael into the truck, and he's still alive, and like I said before, and I'll say it again, you can't fucking kill Michael Myers. So she drives him and attacks him, and he attacks, and she crashes in the middle of the road, and Laurie runs him over, and he gets stuck in between the truck and a tree. And Laurie does what the other movies failed to do, and that's cutting off Michael Myers' head. And how is there a resurrection? I'll find that out next week. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 5.3 out of 10. Second best sequel so far until we get to the new movie, or maybe the couple of the Rob Zombies. But in the meantime, I'm glad this isn't getting worse. Like when I get to 2 through 6, I really enjoyed what I saw, and I hope they can keep this up, because I haven't seen next week's movie, and I've seen a couple of the Rob Zombie ones, and I haven't seen the new movie yet. But yeah, I would like to thank you guys for joining me, and next week I will be back with Halloween Resurrection. And until next time, trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat.